Okay, let's just dive right in and talk about debt. It's something that hits home for so many of us, right? And trying to figure out how to tackle it, well, it can feel like a huge weight. So, what we're going to do here is break down the best strategies. Because here's the secret, there's no one size fits all plan. The best path for you, it's all about your specific financial situation. Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Which path is going to get you out of debt? And the number one thing you got to remember is there's no magic wand here, no single perfect answer for everyone. The best way forward for you comes down to one simple thing: how much you owe versus how much you're bringing in. So let's figure out what your path looks like. Okay, so here's the plan for our little journey today. First up, we're going to figure out exactly what your debt load looks like. Then we'll dive into the DIY payoff methods. After that, we'll talk about consolidating bigger debts. For those who feel like they're drowning, we'll cover what to do when it feels overwhelming. And finally, we'll wrap up with some awesome tips to power up your payments. Let's get into it. All right, first things first. This is absolutely the most crucial step, so don't skip this one. You can't pick a battle plan until you know the size of the army you're facing, right? So before you do anything else, you've got to get a crystal clear picture of your numbers. And it really all boils down to one key metric. So that magic number, it's your debt to income ratio, or DTI for short. Basically, if you add up all your monthly debt payments and that total is less than 36% of your total monthly income before taxes, you're actually in a pretty good spot. It means you've probably got this. You can likely handle it with the DIY approach, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. Now, on the flip side, if you're unsecured debt, and we're talking about things like credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, stuff that isn't tied to a house or a car, if that debt eats up half or more of your income, well, that's a red flag. It's a sign that things are getting pretty serious, and it's probably time to look at some heavier-duty debt relief options. So just to make sure this sinks in, figuring out your debt load is all about that one number, your debt-to-income ratio, your DTI. It's just a simple calculation, but I'm telling you, it is the most important thing you can do to figure out which of these strategies we're about to talk about is the right one for you. Okay, so let's say you did the math, and your DTI is looking good. It's under that 36% threshold. Awesome. This next section is for you. We're talking about the do-it-yourself methods. And the best part? You can literally start these today. No phone calls, no applications, just you taking control. When it comes to DIY, there are two main champs in the ring, the debt Snowball and the debt Avalanche. And honestly, choosing between them is less about finance and more about, well, your personality. It really boils down to this. What fires you up more? The psychological boost of quick wins or the cold, hard math of saving the most money possible? Let's talk about the Snowball. This one is all about psychology and building momentum. You list all your debts, smallest to largest, and you throw every extra penny at that smallest one. Wham! Once it's gone, you get this amazing little victory. It feels so good. Then you take the money you were paying on that debt and roll it on to the next smallest one. See, your payment gets bigger and bigger, just like a snowball rolling downhill, and those quick wins keep you motivated to stick with it. Then you've got the debt avalanche. Now, this method isn't about feelings. It's about pure, raw math. You list your debts by the highest interest rate, and you attack that one with a vengeance. Why? Because that high-interest debt is costing you the most money every single month. So knocking it out first means you'll pay less interest overall and get out of debt faster, period. It takes a little more patience for sure, but the numbers don't lie. Okay, but what if your situation is a little more complicated? Maybe you're juggling a bunch of different credit card bills, all with crazy high interest rates. It's a nightmare to keep track of, right? Well, that's where something called debt consolidation can be a real lifesaver. The whole idea is to bundle all those debts into one single manageable payment. And this is key, hopefully at a much lower interest rate. So there are two main ways to do this. You can use a balance transfer credit card, or you can get a debt consolidation loan. They both achieve the same goal, one simple payment. But how they get you there is totally different. First up, the balance transfer card. This can be an amazing tool if you can get one. You basically move all your existing high-interest credit card debt onto a brand new card that offers you 0% interest for a promotional period, usually like 15 to 21 months. Think about that. For over a year, every single payment you make goes straight to knocking down your debt, not feeding the interest monster. The main catch, though, is you typically need pretty good credit to get approved. The other main option is a debt consolidation loan.
This is pretty straightforward. You take out a new personal loan for the total amount of all your debts. You use that loan money to pay everything off in one fell swoop. Boom. Now you just have one loan, one fixed monthly payment, and a clear end date. This is a great route if you can't get that 0% card or if you have other types of debt to roll in. The whole point, though, is to make sure the interest rate on the new loan is lower than what you were paying before.
Okay, let's shift gears for a moment and talk to those of you who might be feeling, well, completely buried. If your debt is over that 50% of your income mark, or if you look at the numbers and realize it would take you more than 5 years to pay it off, I get it. It can feel hopeless. But I want you to hear this. You are not alone. And there are structured professional options out there to help you. A really good place to start looking is a debt management plan, or a DMP. With a DMP, you team up with a nonprofit credit counseling agency. They actually get on the phone with your creditors and negotiate to lower your interest rates for you. Then you just make one single monthly payment to the agency, and they handle paying everybody else. It's like having a professional in your corner, giving you a clear, structured path to get things sorted.
Another path you might hear about is debt settlement. This is where you or a company you hire negotiates with your creditors to let you pay back less than what you originally owed. Now, paying back less money sounds great, right? But, and this is a really, really big but, it almost always damages your credit score, sometimes significantly. Why? Because you're not holding up your end of the original deal. So it's a major trade-off you have to think about very carefully. And then, at the end of the road, there's a bankruptcy. This is a formal legal process, and it really is designed to be the absolute last resort. It's for when you truly cannot repay your debts, no matter what you do. There are different types, like Chapter 7 and Chapter 13, but either way, it has a very serious and long-lasting impact on your credit. It's something you should only even begin to consider after you've looked at every single other option. Okay, so no matter which path you choose, whether it's the Snowball, a loan, a DMP, whatever, they all have one thing in common. They work way faster if you can throw more cash at them. So this last section is all about how to find that extra fuel to pour on the fire and speed up your trip to being debt-free. Look, I know nobody loves the B word, but it all has to start with a budget. You just can't fix what you can't see. The whole point is to finally get a handle on where every dollar is actually going. You can try a simple system like the 50-30-20 rule to give yourself some guideposts. And seriously, budget apps these days make it so easy. They do all the tracking for you and can uncover little pockets of cash you had no idea were slipping through your fingers. All right, here's a quick win for you. Go after your monthly bills. I'm serious. Pick up the phone, call your cell phone company, your internet provider, your insurance agent, and just ask them for a better deal. Say you're thinking of switching. You would be shocked at what a single 15-minute phone call can do. You could easily save hundreds of bucks a year, and all of that can go straight to your debt. Remember, every little bit helps. And of course, there are two sides to every coin, right? We've talked about cutting costs. Now let's talk about earning more. This doesn't have to be a forever thing. Think about a temporary side hustle. Driving for a rideshare, house sitting for a neighbor. Go through your closet and sell stuff you haven't touched in a year. Or, hey, maybe it's finally time to march into your boss's office and negotiate that raise you deserve. Any extra income can be a massive accelerator on this journey. Whew, okay, we have gone through a lot. We've talked about how to figure out where you stand. We've walked through all the different strategies, from doing it yourself to getting professional help. All the information, all the options, they're right here for you. But remember, your path out of debt is going to be yours and yours alone. It all starts with one small decision, one single action. So the only question left is, what's your first step going to be?